Alright, what's up boys? Today we're back on MX Bikes, and as you can see, we are on Anaheim 3 here. I've been getting a bunch of comments and requests for a how to hit whoops video, and this isn't going to be like a tutorial or anything, like a super serious tutorial. It'll just be giving you tips and tricks and stuff, and just going over the ways that I hit whoops. And this is just what works for me and stuff. It's not necessarily the 100% fastest or most consistent way to sorry, I got a fucking pretzel stuck in my throat. There's many different ways to hit whoops in this game, and yeah, like I said, I'm just going to be going over the ways that work best for me, because I feel like I am one of the best people in whoops this year. Last year, definitely not. But at least this year, I feel like the way that he's making them, I'm really good at the whoops this year. It's kind of one of my stronger points. All right, let me set my track marker real quick. And yeah, so the first thing that I like to do is obviously make sure that I'm straight for the whoops. These whoops on this truck is probably the hardest set of whoops that we've ever gotten in the game, to be honest. By far the hardest set of whoops. People were even jumping through them. That's how hard they were. Obviously, you want to be straight right away when you're entering the whoops. There's exceptions to this, and we'll get into that later in the video. But on these types of whoops, where you come in with a lot of speed and a good amount of speed and momentum and drive into the whoops, you want to be pretty straight. Next thing I like to do is I like to make sure that my front wheel hits every whoop, and especially this one here. Sometimes I miss it, which can be okay as long as you hit this one with your front wheel. But yeah, if your front wheel skips a whoop, you're kind of dead, especially in this set of whoops. If your front wheel misses a whoop, you're really screwed. So what I do for that is there's a couple ways for doing that, right? You can come here, and then you can check up a little bit, right? Check up, lean forward a bit, and get through them. But even then, when you check up like that, you're not carrying much speed or momentum or drive or whatever. I mean, checking up is probably the safest way, but like I said, you're not carrying much momentum or speed when you do that. You can also lean forward a bit. That helps a bit. But the number one biggest thing that helps me is so you want to come here, right? Second, shift up to third, but you want to sit down and lean forward right at the top of the first one. And look how good of a drive I got through there compared to my other drives and other runs through the whoops. We can go into replay mode real quick here. Okay, so as you're here, obviously you want to downside this to get a good drive. I'm standing up. I sit down right there, which makes my front end go down, and boom, it taps. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, that's kind of the basics of whoop entry. Especially, there's another thing that I'll go on later in the video when you're coming out of corners. But when you get a good drive like this, and you have a big build-up of speed and momentum into the whoops, this is how you want to be hitting them, is like that. And like I said, there's a few ways to do that. You can check up, lean forward, or sit down and lean forward. Mine's favorite is to sit down and lean forward, and there's also even another way. Hold on. So I come here, right? And then I kind of scrub almost, like a little half mini scrub. And look at that drive. That's the best drive I've gotten, right? Is when I put all that together. I sit down, lean forward, and I do a little tiny scrub at the top of the first whoop. And look at that. Look at me fly through those things. So I'm coming here, right? And like I did last time, I'm gonna sit down right at the top. But if you noticed, I sit down right at the top, and look at me, see me starting to turn. And that does a little tiny scrub, which keeps you a little bit lower, carrying a little bit more speed. And therefore you can carry more speed throughout the entire whoops. So that's the whoop entry. We can get a little bit more into controlling your bike throughout the entire whoops. A lot of people think you just need to lean back and just pin it through the whoops. Actually, what you want to be doing is, especially through whoops like that, is I did not do a very good example there. But actually, no, that was a good example, because I got a little bit, out of sorts, but I was able to control it through the whoops and still, not crash. So what you want to do, right, is you want to come here, and people think that you want to be leaned all the way back, but you actually want to be I lean about 25% of the way back. So if you take your stick and you put it all the way back, instead of putting it all the way back, all the way back would be 100% all the way back. I put it about 25% of the way back. So just barely back, almost neutral. And then for every little thing, you gotta, this comes with time too, but you gotta get a little feeling for the whoops. Sometimes I'll lean forward, sometimes I'll lean a little bit further back, but I use 25% back as my baseline. Throughout these whoops, like when I feel something, I'll like lean a little bit forward, or I'll go back to neutral, right? Or I will lean a little bit more back, just depending on what the bike needs. And again, that's just feeling, comes with time. Just predicting what the bike is going to do. You got to have a good base and understanding of bikes physics and Poboso physics, because they're weird and janky and bouncy. So you got to really have a good understanding of that. And for each whoop, you got to know how much you need to lean back or lean forward. But I start off from that 25% of the way back as like a baseline, if you will. But yeah, for most whoop sections, this is how you're going to want to hit it. See how I sit down, lean forward at the top of it. And here, I'll lean back a little bit forwards. Sometimes I go more neutral throughout the entire whoops. And for most whoop sections, this is exactly how you're going to want to hit it, is the tricks and tips or whatever that I just showed you there, and techniques or whatever. That's for how most sections you're going to want to hit it. At least that's how I do it. There's many different ways to hit whoops in this game, and people have their own techniques and stuff. I feel like I'm pretty decent at whoops in this game, at least this year. Okay, so now we are here at Anaheim 2, which, yeah, the reason why we're here is because Stone Rider usually builds two different kinds of whoops. One, like the really big and rounded off kind of and spaced out whoops, and then the other ones are a bit sharper and close together. But yeah, like I said, these types of whoops are a little bit sharper, but they're still pretty spaced out and big. But yeah, they're just a bit sharper, and they're right out of a corner. But yeah, what I like to do through here is, instead of making sure that I'm straight, is I'll still be turning. But if you watch closely there, these whoops are extremely hard now in Beta 17. Really freaking hard in Beta 17. If you watch closely, I'm still turning right here, and instead of making sure my front tire hits, I actually get my front tire over, and I'm fully leaned back out of this corner. If you watch my how to corner video, you know that you want to be leaned back in the corners. So as I'm still turning in the corner, I'm still fully leaned back, and so that makes me do like a little wheelie here. And yeah, my front tire actually goes over and misses this first one, but I'm not like doing a huge wheelie, but I'm doing a little tiny wheelie, which so now when my back end hits, it allows me to hit that second whoop, and then we're good to go throughout the entire whoop section. We can get a better run, because that wasn't the best run in the world, but that's the basic concept of what I do. So yeah, you come out of the corner, do a little wheelie, miss the first one. There we go. That was better. That was a way better run. So you're leaning back out of the corner, still turning. Front end misses the first one. Bam. And your back end hits it, which causes the front end to go down, and now you're good to go throughout the entire whoops. Now you're going to hit the front end, back end, front end. Oh, get a little sketchy. But you guys get the point. But yeah, with these types of whoops though, these are more like the Anaheim 3 whoops. And I like to hit them, you know, exactly like I did at Anaheim 3. So you come out of the corner, sit down, lean forward. Boom. There you go. Get a good drive through the whoops. That's actually where I got a really good drive to pass Cole on the last lap of this race for a podium. I feel like I was, you know, really good through those whoops. Both sets of whoops throughout the entire night here. And yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me, boys, on the, you know, giving my tips and tricks for whoops and stuff. Yeah, later this week, probably the day after this one comes out, I want to come out with another video talking about this track here that I'm riding on, Anaheim 3, what I like, what I dislike about it, like, you know, my normal types of videos, do some hot laps, give you guys some tips and tricks like I always do, sprinkle those in. Yeah, so we'll have that coming out soon. And then we have already the aerial race on Friday again, so whoa, let's slide out a little bit there. I've been doing a little bit of Elden Ring streams, and I know it's not MX Bikes content, but for those who have still dropped by and come stop by and say hi and watch the streams afterwards, and you know, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting me in something that's, you know, not MX Bikes. That obviously means a lot to me, and I honestly didn't even expect to get that many views. I've been getting about 150 views on each stream, average, which I didn't even expect that. I expected, you know, not even that. I didn't know if anybody would even watch. So thank you guys so much for, oh my gosh, as I'm getting out. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a sub. That would really be appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.